All right, guys, in this video, I want to break down to you Micah Parsons and the keys to his productivity in this upcoming game versus the Commanders and going into the playoffs. But first, don't forget to hit the like button, hit the share button, and also hit the subscribe button if you have not already subscribed to Boss Cowboy Sports for the latest and the greatest in Cowboy sports and news. So, Micah Parsons, second-year linebacker from Penn State. Coming into the league as a rookie, tore things up with 13 sacks. Now, this year, currently right now, he has the same total of sacks as he had his rookie year, which is 13. He has about around the same number of total tackles, somewhere in there. I want to point out a couple key things about Micah Parsons, and I think this is going to help build the conversation and help us really understand the best strategy and the best methodology for the defense to use to get the best out of Micah Parsons going into the playoffs and, in my opinion, moving forward. Let's take a look back. Coming out of Penn State, Micah Parsons had a total of around 190 tackles. He had roughly 91 to 99 solo tackles in the 2 years that he played at Penn State. Micah Parsons had 6.5 sacks. So that's really an important number to know and understand that coming into the NFL, Micah Parsons was known as an explosive world-class athlete. He was known as a guy that could run people down, and the attraction was his strength, his speed, his athleticism, which was proved out when he ran a 4.3 40 for the Scouts coming out of college. So Micah Parsons was not really originally a sack master. Now, he's morphed into a guy that is highly disruptive on the pass rush when the Cowboys quintessentially found a golden egg in him, and that, oh my goodness, this guy can pass rush. This guy can turn the corner. This guy is just a pure athlete. Micah Parsons is just a football player. Doesn't matter really where you line him up, linebacker, DB, whatever, defensive end, defensive tackle. The guy is a football player. He's a guy that can play football and that understands football and how to play. So what the Cowboys did was, seeing that he has a lot of upside and ability in terms of disrupting and affecting the quarterback, more so this year than last year, really have played him almost exclusively at the defensive end position. And last year, if we look back at it, Micah Parsons did move back and forth from linebacker to defensive end, etc., and he moved around some. This year, he's gotten a little banged up, and he's even admitted this himself, a little bit of worn downness on his body because of the fact that he's battling big linemen every single play. So, in my opinion, the keys to getting the maximum amount of productivity out of Micah Parsons. The first thing is movement. Move Micah Parsons around. Remember, the 6.5 sacks that Micah Parsons got at Penn State came from the linebacker position. That was him shooting the A gap, shooting the B gap, reading play action pass, and tracking down the quarterback very, very quickly with his tremendous closing speed. It was not necessary for him to be at the defensive end position to get disruptive plays in the backfield and to affect the quarterback or ball carriers. Keep that in mind. So that will be number one. Number two would be disguise. That's right, disguise. How Micah Parsons lines up, it is very predictable in terms of how he's going to attack you. And most of the time, he's lined up just as the defensive ends. All right, he's a defensive end. He's right there. The offensive tackle, the tight end that comes over to help 9 out of 10 times, or the running back that comes up to help and chip him 9 out of 10 times to try to slow him down. He's a sitting duck. He's an easy target, okay? He's an easy target, all right? And so here's the deal. This is what you want to do with Micah Parsons. You want to make it appear as if he's going to rush in certain situations, and you want to drop Micah Parsons into coverage. That's right. You want to drop him back because you want to disrupt the rhythm and the timing of the pass protection and not have them be able to easily key on Micah Parsons in every passing scenario. This will be a really great opportunity for Donovan Wilson or some other defensive tackle or player to loop around or to blitz freely because the teams is not expecting it. It is a disguise. It is a mystery. It is a way to disrupt the flow and the timing. Another thing that you really want to do with Micah Parsons that might really be very, very beneficial is line Micah Parsons up next to another elite pass rusher, aka line him and a guy that can rush the passer in Tank Lawrence or another gentleman that has enough skills and really can create some pressure that should get a little bit more run, in my opinion. Line him up next to a guy that, you know, is like a Fowler, like a Dante Fowler, guys that can create some one-on-one pressure by themselves. When you do that, you make the protection make a decision. If they're sliding left or if they're sliding right or if they're going to chip with the back, you make them make a decision on who they're going to chip. And you also make it very hard to double team Micah Parsons because if you do double team Micah Parsons, then the other superior pass rusher is left one-on-one and he can come free. All right. So that is one thing that you definitely want to do. All right. So, you know, I talked about movement. I talked about disguise or mystery. And the last thing I want to tell you about that will really be beneficial for the defense as a whole, but also for a Micah Parsons because of his tremendous closing speed. And I haven't seen the defense do much of this. And I understand why, because up until this point, we've been tremendous at beating people one-on-one and creating pressures, even though we haven't got a lot of sacks the last several games. But if you want to get more sacks, if you want to affect the offense, overload blitz. Overload blitz. That means that if they get into spread or if they get into a formation with one running back or one tight end, you can on purpose have the defenders, more defenders coming off of one side than that offense can block. You can do that. And if you do that, what happens is that you make the quarterback hot and he has to throw the ball very quickly. Why not make Micah Parsons the last defender on an overload blitz? Force it to where he's going to be the free man. All right? The free man. So with his closing speed, he is going to bat a ball. He's going to make that quarterback pump and sack him, or he is going to basically cause a incomplete or a throwaway type pass. So even if he didn't get the sack, he still is going to do several disruptive things that are really going to affect the game and cause him to have maximum productivity. Because remember, I'm not just talking about sacks here. I want that these are strategies that can help Micah Parsons get more sacks, but these are strategies that'll help maximize the productivity with Micah Parsons. And that is the key thing that you want to do going into these playoffs. And I'll throw in a bonus for you guys. Here's a bonus. Here's a bonus off of the first three. This is where you really get them. This is where you really, really get them. Matchups. That's right. Matchups. Why was Micah Parsons so effective at blitzing the A and the B gaps in college? Well, let's take it to the pros. He's been fairly effective at being disruptive and creating pressure when he blitzed the A and B gaps from linebackers, even on an NFL level. Why do you think that is? Think about it. Okay, who plays there? The center and the guard.
That was easy.
Where do the worst athletes on the offensive line play? It's normally the guards. The worst athletes normally play guard. The best athletes normally play tackle or center, to be honest with you, normally. So normally the guys that have the least amount of lateral quickness and change of direction footwork you put inside, because you insulate them in between a center and a tackle. So, Dan Quinn, Aiden, let's be smart about this. Let's find the matchups. Find the matchups. Every team has a weak link. Find the weakest lineman. Put Micah Parsons, give him an opportunity to win one-on-one, create scenarios where he can win one-on-one against the team's weakest linemen, our linemen, our weakest back, if the back comes to block him, our weakest tight end, if they try to block him with a tight end. There's a multiplicity of ways to do this. With film study and more attention to detail, you can almost guarantee Micah Parsons comes up with more sacks based on how you play him on alignment and taking advantage of mismatches. So, movement. He can't just play defensive end. It's an easy target. He needs to move between middle linebacker and, in my opinion, even outside linebacker. If you're running a 4-3 under, let him come off the edge. Let him weave inside. Let him fake blitz and bail out. Maybe he comes up with an interception. We get a pick six on a hot route. Right? So that is that. And you're going to have to also, along with those things, right? You want to have movement.
One of the questions that I kept asking Mike and Dan and if you will and Steven, one of the questions I kept asking, is there a pick here that would give us a big compliment to what Micah is? Is there a pick here that would make him have more pressure, pass pressure, or let us use him more flexibly behind the line of scrimmage, get more blitz out of him, or get that? Where's the complementary aspect to it? And we really addressed that good. And I think that when you look at Damian Clark and you look at Harper, I think that, and then when you step over and look at Sam Williams, I think we have really upped what the options that we have with Mike.
Right, you want to deal with what I just mentioned, matchups. You want to help Micah Parsons, right, with overloads, right, using overloads so that he can be a free man on some of these blitzes, right? And you want to have Micah Parsons in a place where there is a disguise and a mystery of how you're going to use it. All right, guys, so that's the sauce. Those are all the keys. I gave you 4 things. Those are all the keys to take advantage of Micah Parsons and maximize his productivity going into the playoffs. So if you like videos like these, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, comment, let me know below how I did in this video. Follow Boss Cowboy Sports on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can follow me, the OC100 on Twitter. And until next time, see you.